Most people are not only familiar with the idea of the return of Jesus, but the issue has become more or less top of mind, especially in recent weeks. But there are many individuals who are less familiar with the term Antichrist. Few, quote unquote, know when he will arise, and fewer know about his alternative titles. The most accurate description of the Antichrist can only come from the Bible, the Christian scriptures, because it is the Bible that raised the issue of the Antichrist in the first place. The Antichrist, whoever it will be, is cast as a rather mysterious figure, shrouded in secrecy until the final moment he is revealed. One thing the scripture is clear about: the Antichrist is not coming from outer space. He is already living among us. But how do we recognize this entity? In the Bible, the Antichrist has another title: the man of lawlessness, or the man of sin. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3. But why this title? Here's why. First of all, the Antichrist is called the man of lawlessness because he will arise and be unveiled in an environment of lawlessness. In other words, the stage, setting, or backdrop for the rise of the Antichrist is unprecedented lawlessness in society. Now, according to the dictionary, lawlessness is rebellion, chaos, disorder, free-for-all, anarchy. Whichever word is used, the basic meaning is the opposite of law-abiding. Therefore, the setting for the Antichrist is a situation where people feel free and empowered to break the law and do so with impunity. But lawlessness is not only breaking big laws, as in homicide, theft, treason, etc. Lawlessness includes the total disregard for social norms of morality, ethics, and decency, such as telling the truth, being trustworthy, or being respectful. Now, open any media source and take a look. Sooner rather than later, you will see anarchy, chaos, disorder, free-for-all. Lawlessness is approaching pandemic proportions. It is infecting parents as well as children, people in so-called high society, politicians, professionals, institutions of all kinds, both local and global, and above all, governments. Lawlessness is the type of situation you see in several American cities, where protesters are paid to attack immigration officials, who are simply carrying out their jobs. You see lawlessness in Europe, where governments give more rights to illegal immigrants than to citizens, and where citizens are summarily arrested for protesting the perpetration of this injustice in the first place. Lawlessness is calling for the defunding of the police and pressing for no cash bail. Lawlessness is a candidate running for the office of Attorney General and yet publicly threatening the life of an opponent and his children. We find lawlessness in the First World, as well as in the so-called Third World, and, right here at home, in the Caribbean. As we take a break here, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Welcome back. The moral environment for the rise of the Antichrist is unraveling very quickly. Indeed, in more ways than one, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was a turning point in this lawlessness, no pun intended. But, will the rise of the Antichrist bring back law-abiding behavior as we know it? On the contrary, that man of sin, as the Bible also calls him, will take lawlessness to a new unprecedented height. There will be a complete moral inversion. Right will become wrong, and wrong become right. In fact, as Scripture points out elsewhere, anyone who tries to do what we now consider to be right will become a target. Do you see any of this happening? Is it going to get worse? Absolutely. But how strong will this moral inversion be? Here is the stunning statement Scripture makes about the Antichrist in the same passage we quoted from earlier. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4 tells us this. He, the Antichrist, will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. This, my friend, is the second and more important reason why the Antichrist is called the man of lawlessness. Why? Because the ultimate lawlessness is to disobey the first commandment, that is, to have another God besides the true God, Jehovah. So this is a strong and very revealing statement about the Antichrist, one we shall have to come back to in greater detail. But what else do we need to know about this Antichrist? Can we identify him at this time? What will trigger the unveiling of this evil one? Does Jesus return before or after the rise of the Antichrist? Will the rapture occur before or after the rise of this evil one? And why, according to Scripture, will people willingly follow the Antichrist to their own destruction? These and other burning questions we will address in the next installments of Rise of the Antichrist. If you have not done so, please subscribe to the channel. Don't know how to check your YouTube channel notification? It is easy. Just check the bell icon here as shown on your YouTube account. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.